billion-dollar co-hosts. George is here in the house back. After we had the Matt Ford Debacle last episode, it's going to be a big topic today.
Is it?
Oh, I am excited for today's episode, man. Wow.
Welcome back. How was Hawaii?
Dude, it was nice. It took me 4 days to stop working.
Oh, you were working in Hawaii?
So, yeah, it took me 4 days to calm down and stop working.
That's how much it takes to deprogram yourself from work mode?
Yeah, I mean, because I've realized I have not stopped working really my entire career. I mean, shared practices, I've been here for 4.5 years, and every day, there's no days off.
No days off. That's
here
true.
at SP, right? It's a very important concept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, speed kills, and the way we do speed is no days off.
So how are your days off?
So I took 4 days to get there. And it's funny, I sent them a message about something that's been driving me nuts about content repurposing. Like, you realize how much that was bothering me in Hawaii on the beach. It's like, we can't figure out content repurposing.
Well, when things are really bothering you, that's when we finally figure out things.
Yeah,
so I
it's
love
just
when they
annoyance.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I have my mask on half the time. This place is horrific.
I tried to tell you. I warned you. I said
this place is awful.
Yeah, I know. And you were like, no. They have vaccine mandates, so everything's good.
Yeah, no. So, okay, so in my defense, we had a very credible source, one of the other parents at soccer.
Okay. I'm the credible source. Have I not proved how credible I am on this?
You get all of information from, from the internet.
Reliable sources, yeah.
So I didn't believe that they actually do masks in Hawaii. That just seemed too insane to me that people actually do this. I understand it now. And so we have words from our sponsors. We have to go in depth about the Matt Ford debacle, but we have some time before COVID Corner, so I got to get into this. So Hawaii is like another country. This is not the United States. Now, we walked into some country called Hawaii, and we just called them the United States, but they operate on their own.
Yeah.
That's Hawaii. That's not the United States. That place is its own country.
So walk me through some of the ways it was restricting to you.
Oh, dude, what? Are you kidding me? It's like they're on another planet over there.
Oh, gosh.
It's like not even socially acceptable to not wear a mask, even though the sign says so. So all the signs say mask. I didn't wear a mask.
All right.
The first person that sees me tells me put on a mask every time.
We officially have 49 states in the union now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
They're out. Hawaii's out.
No, 48.
You want Alaska out too?
No, I want California out.
California can go too.
The two most west states are just awful.
I agree, man. I'm all for that. 48 states.
48 states, right? This is state 48. That's Arizona. So
it's going to be a little bit of a hit to our GDP that California's out, but I guess we'll get over it.
As far as I'm concerned, the United States of America is America, and then there is Hawaii and California.
Okay, I'm good with that.
As separate countries.
Yeah, I'm good with that, man. You don't have to convince me.
And so I have, just a great time. Dude, this is the worst part. Best weather in the world.
Yeah, I bet.
Is California and Hawaii. The two states that we've lost in our union had the best weather. I mean, the Big Island has 8 climate zones.
Wow.
And you get to go, so the U of A tried doing this thing called the biosphere. It was a total fail. And they wanted to build all 4 seasons in a room so you could experience them. That's the island. We drove all the way around the Big Island. And it's like you see all the different seasons, the raining, sunning, desert. I'm like, what is this?
So you were cold at certain points.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I mean, I got poured on by rain. Yeah. I mean,
that's like your dream. I mean, you love water and all
I love water. Yeah. Waterfalls were great. I mean, a place with abundant water. The nature there is so beautiful. It's just a shame the government ruined it.
Yeah.
I mean, they just ruined a beautiful place.
I mean, this is just like New Zealand. New Zealand's the most beautiful place I've ever been. I've never been to Hawaii, and it's been completely ruined, completely shut off from society.
I mean, it's the only place I really enjoyed was this super remote town. On the other side of Maui, the road there is horrific, and it's like a small town people. They don't do COVID. They don't worry about it, and the rest of the place is just totally ruined.
Well, I'm glad you had some R&R and you got a little tan and got wet and all that stuff. So
I got rained on. I got waterfalls, hiking, beautiful stuff, and I got to wear a mask more than I've worn. It felt like it was April of 2020. I mean, I swear, it was like they locked down Honolulu for 3 months, like you couldn't leave your house.
I take zero pleasure when I say this. That I told you so. I take no pleasure whatsoever. I really hate to hear that.
They locked this down like China.
I know, man.
They locked Hawaii down like this is not the United States over there.
It's tough.
It's.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I mean, they behaved exactly like Japan and China in their response to COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, The government is the same. You know, so this is what I figured out when I was there. Mm-hmm. Their entire political system is influenced by Japanese money.
Oh, that makes sense.
The whole country is run by Japanese money.
But there's such a tourism-based economy, I would imagine. So isn't these restrictions kind of debilitating to that economy?
But the problem is, so Honolulu is 1 million out of the 1.4 million people in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And Honolulu is a great place to go forever. And then what happened is these Japanese billionaires started building high-rise buildings.
Keep the high-rises.
All along the beach in Honolulu. And then Chinese investors started buying all of the commercial real estate and all of the... They started redeveloping all the houses into multifamily properties. So Honolulu's this tiny island, has 1 million people. And like if you look at it, it's like built up like a Tokyo type environment. I don't think everything's really tall buildings.
I've never heard Honolulu recommended as a place in Hawaii like you have to go.
No. You don't want to go to Honolulu. Yeah. I mean, it's a big city. And so, it's just so much, influence from that part of the world. It would make sense that their legislation matches the legislation in that part of the world. It's their influence. It's their politics.
I guess so.
I mean, that's its own country. I mean... the whole time, I refuse to call this America. I said, I'm in the country of Hawaii.
This means I'm sticking to my guns when it comes to Ellen. We are not going to Hawaii, Mexico, and free places only.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're going to be disappointed with Mexico, too.
I won't show her any of your pictures. We'll make sure she doesn't see anything of the beauty of the country. And
no. We're gonna the place is horrific.
Terrific. Yeah, awful place.
But great relaxing vacation.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just in a horrendous environment.
Yeah. That's awful. Let's hear about our ad.
All right, so
we got a great sponsor today.
So
our best one.
Is this our best one? I was going to say, right? We have never been in more support of a single company in our lives. Never. Folks, drum roll, please. We don't have that button.
No, I don't.
Citibank.
Wow.
Whoa.
Woof. Tell me something about them.
So I actually have been using Citibank for years.
Why did you not tell me?
I mean, I've had their American Airlines card.
Oh, that's the card you have?
That's the card I have. It's a Citibank card, and they're the ones affiliated with American Airlines. Mm-hmm. So I've been pro Citibank forever.
Awesome.
I mean, I've been a Citibank guy, and then the lovely men and gentlemen, or men and ladies at Citibank have given the shared practices folks a great line of credit.
Yes, they have.
So, guys, round of applause for Citibank. You guys, I mean, thank you for supporting a great company.
Yes, it's two great companies coming together, and that's how progression in business is. It's innovation is supported by the great minds are now one.
So now let's talk about our recap. So we have been talking forever about how we've been looking for a way to grow our company sustainably without getting outside money from anyone else, right? That's
or giving up equity.
Giving up equity. Essentially, no one can tell us what to do. Is what we wanted to make sure of. And so the great folks at Citibank are the ones that are going to be allowing us to. So I mean, So there's an important negotiation tactic. Anytime you're negotiating any deal, like our deal with Citibank, your price, my terms. Don't ever forget this.
Interesting. Could go into that.
You can have whatever interest rate. Yeah, I don't care about the price of the loan that we're getting, right? Interest rate, terms. No. I want terms. So Citibank is giving us a loan. And of all the banks we've talked to, they're giving us the largest amount, right? Mm-hmm. And they're the only bank that is letting us reapply for more money every 6 months based on our growth.
Huge.
Yeah.
We thought that was a pipe dream.
We thought, but from the beginning, I told our advisor, I said, this is the term that is most important to our long-term growth as a company. Mm-hmm. Because our growth rate, we need those frequent evaluations. And so the folks at Citibank came through with an amazing offer. And I mean, honestly, I didn't think we could get lending like that.
No.
I mean, and we don't have to switch banks. We stay with one bank. I mean, the amount of total exposure they're willing to do on us is years.
And it's a pure healthcare division of their private equity department, and they can go up to a level so high that we can stay with them for years.
Yeah, so we don't ever have to sell to anyone else. We don't ever get any private equity money. Nothing.
They actually went out of their bounds because we are a small fish for this department. So allowing us to be with them long term. They saw the vision. They bought into it. I mean, great people. I can't wait to hug them and shake their hands and just say, wow.
I mean, so Matt, you don't understand how much Matt and I spend our time sorting out banking issues.
Yeah.
Right now, after we're recording, we're going to go to the bank with my passport, driver's license,
and social security card, which
who has that?
Which George doesn't have, and so he's not. We might not be able to use this bank. Do we want to say their name? No.
No, we won't say Chase Bank.
Okay, we won't say Chase Bank. So it's definitely not Chase Bank. It could be any other bank out there. But we don't know if we can actually reliably use a checking account with their bank because we don't have George's social security card.
So
what year are we in?
So Richard and I set up our first bank account at Shared Practices. A remote company with two guys that are never in the same state tried setting up bank account. And banking has been the biggest pain in the ass.
They're the worst.
And so now we have a solution for credit cards, all of these things that are so essential. I mean, you know how I get a text maybe once every 3 days for the past year that says I have a transaction that has been declined. Like, this is my life.
You're like back to when you were like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any money in your
the amount of loans I've been
account.
rejected for, transactions declined, like, gosh, I hate banks.
What's your credit score at this point?
It's got to be awful. I mean,
you may not want to look at that.
We keep opening up these accounts under my name, and then all the office credit cards under my name.
Yeah.
So, my credit's shit. It's a
I mean,
mess.
we applied for a credit card solution with Chase, and that dropped my credit score. I think like 60 points right there.
Yeah, I mean, I must be.
I'm
it's
like 670.
I haven't checked it since this whole thing started. I started at a 740.
Yeah, you're in the sixes now.
I'm maybe even the fives. I mean, the amount of revolving balance I have. Yeah, but I mean, that's the business we're in, right? Like, it's a fast growing company. We haven't met it. We haven't been able to have a bank that can grow with our speed until now. Mm-hmm. Citibank.
Beautiful people.
So, guys, the folks at Citibank, thank you so much.
Thank you. Maybe we'll have them on one day.
Yeah, I mean, the credit card. If I just actually recommend the Danielle Davis. Mm-hmm. So American Airlines is the first airlines to have the ability to earn status entirely through credit card spending. So any dentist, small business owner out there who puts on significant expense, getting the Citi American Airlines card will be monumental.
Do you know what the threshold is on that?
Yeah, so it's $200,000 of spend in a year for their highest status, $125,000 of spend for Platinum Pro, which gets you complimentary upgrades in all flights in North America and Hawaii.
Doable for most offices, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially the 125 is definitely doable.
Yeah, 125 is doable for pretty much every supply and lab bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So anyway, thought I would throw that out there. Now, we got 2 minutes before COVID Corner. Mm-hmm. I just want to preview after COVID Corner. We have a deep dive into the Matt Ford debacle. So
I don't actually know what this is about.
Yeah, I know. This is the best part. So when Matt was listening to Matt Ford's episode the first time during the offensive COVID Corner debacle,
yeah.
he turned it off because he was so riled up in his car and he was like wanting to respond and he couldn't.
I have no idea what this is about.
So imagine me sitting here as someone who likes to talk while you guys are having this great conversations and I just have so many things I want to say.
Yeah.
And I got no opportunity.
It's really tough.
Every time Matt Ford comes on, there will be a segment the following episode called the Matt Ford Debacle where I go through all of my thoughts on the things that you guys discuss.
Not being on the show is one of the hardest things in the world, especially when you have to listen to it. I don't ever hope to not be on.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be super unenjoyable. So I figured that I would open the door to this segment moving forward, the Matt Ford Debacle. And it's where I talk about all things that happened when Matt Ford was here.
Yeah, because I have a lot of travel coming up for the holidays, and we talked about me might not be able to be on, and you were on with Alex, and just the thought of it,
Yeah, isn't it horrible?
It's awful, and I'm sure it's gonna be a great epistle. I love listening,
but it's so different.
Yeah, it's so
you
hard.
switch up one host, it's just a different dynamic,
whole different vibe.
So, guys. The Matt Ford debacle coming right up after COVID Corner. We start COVID Corner in 40 seconds. So before this is radio, man. So before we start COVID Corner, quick story. This is the flu game for me, guys.
Oh, that's right. We didn't even talk about that.
I got, if you can see it on video right now, I am holding up an IV thing that they put up after you're done. Man. I mean, I woke up this morning, felt like absolute dog shit. I was up puking last night. Like, this was just bad. Food poisoning, Omaha Steaks 1.
I was going to say, was it one
George
of your steaks?
0, yeah.
I knew it was one of your steaks. I knew it.
So I got the directions wrong. A little too rare.
Oh my God, I'm so vindicated again. Because we talked about how cooking a steak. You're like, oh, no, it's easy. Like 3 minutes per side. 3 minutes per side.
3 minutes per side, but I got the oven setting wrong on the broil.
I told you it wasn't that easy,
man. I put 400 degrees instead of 550 and undercooked the steak.
Dude, cooking is for the birds. I've been in my house over 2 months now.
Challenge accepted.
I haven't cooked one time. I haven't cooked once.
Oh, man. I thought I could do it. We had date night at home, the steaks. I was super excited, and I'm paying the price. So I took a quick stop at our local IV therapy place. 2 bags, electrolytes, everything. I'm energized. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you sound good. How much did that cost you? Curious.
So this is what I want to say. $180.
Okay.
So this is a hack in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're feeling like absolute shit, you have a choice to like not eat for 24 hours and like slowly get your fluids back, or you pay $180
so worth
and in 45 minutes you are hydrated, electrolytes, vitamins, you're all back to go. And so Prana IV therapy, I was right there. It's 7 minutes away from the office.
Good to know. So you walked in feeling bad, you walked out feeling good. It was that like much of a decision.
Yeah, I mean you walk in feeling weak, and I left feeling hydrated but still kind of weak.
Wow.
And I have bagels. Just plain bagels in the car for lunch, and I am here at work today. You cannot keep me out of the office.
Absolutely not.
No, I mean, the lady was like, wait, what time do you go to work? I'm like, now. Can you take it out, please? I have to be there at 10:40. And then she's like, you're going to work like right now? I'm like, right now. Like, can this come out? I got most of the second bag. Like, let's go.
That's wonderful.
So she taped me up. I'm here right on time. COVID corner, let's get started.
And they got you out. When I've had hospital visits in the past.
No, the hospital's for the birds.
They don't let you leave.
My copay's $250 for the hospital. I go to the hospital for $250, or I can have a faster, better experience for $180. Get me out of there.
Somebody's story when I had my tonsils out, they made me sleep overnight, even though I was literally begging them to leave. I got hit in the head with a bottle.
They're not going to tell me what to do.
They wouldn't. They don't let you leave.
Yeah.
Fucking. I don't want to be here anymore. Unreal. Do we want to start out in a lighter way, or do we want to just like dive in like head first?
Well, I mean, we're all riled up. We hate the hospitals. Let's hammer them here.
Okay, we're gonna hammer them. You've heard me all talk about Jen Psaki, okay? I finally remembered her last name.
Who's this?
This is the press secretary for Biden.
Oh, this is so funny. Are you going to show the clip that you showed on Twitter?
So this is a clip of her talking about the current restrictions that are going on in schools.
This is so funny.
And I'm going to pause it and give some commentary.
This is the best part about following Matt on Twitter. I get COVID corner before COVID corner.
I love these videos, so I hope you enjoyed the clips. Hang on, I got to change it off my Bluetooth. Let's do that right there. Let's see if this works.
Very strict rules. For example, sometimes students are required to eat outside or eat distance from each other, not talk to each other while they're eating. Does the White House want to see those rules lifted as well to get back to a more normal school experience?
Awful.
Well, schools are taking steps, especially since we've only recently approved through the CDC and FDA vaccines for 5 to 11.
Recently approved, meaning it's been approved for 6 weeks. Keep that in mind. That's her recently approved. 6 weeks ago, they approved it for 5 and 11. Keep that in mind.
They're not approved for kids younger than that to keep their kids safe and keep students safe. I will tell you, I have a 3-year-old who goes to school, sits outside for snacks and lunch, wears a mask inside, and it's no big deal to him.
No big deal to him. I'd like to have him do a fucking interview and say it's no big deal. No chance he thinks that's no big deal.
So her 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Her 3-year-old.
Three.
It's a 3-year-old.
3 years on this earth.
What's the COVID risk for a 3-year-old?
Nothing.
Essentially zero.
More likely to be struck by lightning and killed.
So we're gonna have our 3-year-old eat lunch outside in December in Washington D.C.
I went to school in Richmond, not too far from D.C. It's cold in December. Like it's cold.
This is insane.
This is the Northeast.
So then we're gonna eat inside.
Yep.
We're gonna like wear a mask all day.
All day.
A 3-year-old.
All day.
Like Hudson is almost 3.
Imagine
like,
him in a
I can't even imagine.
for 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Let's get to it. She's got more nuggets. Don't worry.
I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but these are steps that schools are taking to keep kids safe. And I think the vast majority of parents appreciate that. Obviously, we want to get to a point where we're turning to a version of normalcy for everybody.
Of normalcy.
Where you're not sending your kids backpack with 7 extra masks, right? Where you're not adding 2 hats so that they're warm outside for a snack. There's no question that's the case. But we also think the most important thing should be safety, the safety of kids, keeping kids in school, which the president is very focused on. And some of these steps, creative steps that schools have taken, have enabled that to be possible.
Creative steps. She calls those creative steps for safety. Her 3-year-old has 2 hats on. I've never worn 2 winter hats in my life. And her 3-year-old bundled up like the friggin' Eskimo as he's eating his friggin' mac and cheese. Like, what are we doing here? What an awful, awful woman. Awful.
I mean,
for shame, Jen Psaki.
Isn't that horrible?
Yeah, just incredible. And I saw that clip. I almost lost my mind. It happened so many times, and like, this is just another example. So you wanted me to dive head first. There you go. That was my really head first topic.
So we had our AFD Christmas party over the weekend, and we went to a comedy show. And I heard a COVID stand-up routine, which nice. By the way was amazing.
Nice.
So he goes up and he goes, sorry about the last guy. Like, dude's fucking weird. He had that vaccine. That was his first line.
Jeez. Coming right into it. Did the crowd appreciate it?
Oh, yeah. The crowd was going crazy.
That's funny.
And there was like one or two anti this type of COVID view that we have on the show in the audience, and they were not liking it, but everyone else was like hooting and hollering. Like, it was great. And so I'll only give one tidbit here, but he was talking about how he goes, bikers in New York City drive around. He lives in New York City. And he goes, they drive around all day wearing no helmet, but a mask. And he's like, what is the most pressing danger to a biker biking around Manhattan?
If you've been to New York City, you know how dangerous it is for those bikers. Like, I don't know how they do it. And they do it. Like, those city bikes are everywhere. People are riding bikes all over the place. And, like, it's fucking dangerous. Like,
people are opening doors. You got cars turning.
I can't even imagine it.
Like, the probability of getting hit by a car is very high compared to the probability of getting COVID
multiple
riding
times.
Your bike outside.
Yeah. I've seen multiple times a biker get hit in New York. Like, that's not even... and I'm not in New York that often.
You can see pictures online of people driving their bikes around without helmets and masks.
Yes, it's incredible.
It's so stupid.
All right, I want to introduce a new segment, okay? So we get really harsh on the president and the government and all these people a lot. So I want to introduce a new segment. It's a little lighter, okay? It's called Be Nice to President Joe Biden. Okay, so we're going to spend 1 minute being nice to Joe Biden, okay? So I want to...
Let's go, Brandon.
No, that's anti-Joe Biden. No.
This is actually...
We're being nice to Joe Biden.
Let's go, Joe.
Yes, let's go, Joe. Great guy. So Biden, in his infinite wisdom and his perfect health, and, you know, he's very vivacious and all that, and he's very, you know, he's in the news a lot. He's doing a lot of press conferences. He's a very hands-on person in our government. I really applaud him for that. He's officially reinstated student loan payments starting February 1st. There was a lot of talk with the progressives in the Democratic Party about forgiving student loans, if you listen to AOC. That was an agenda that they're trying to push, but he has put his foot down and said restart student loan payments, which I think is an amazing move. That was my Be Nice to Joe Biden.
Wow.
Isn't that a good move, though? I really do appreciate that. Student loans should not be forgiven.
No.
You chose to go to that university, you chose to get that training, you chose to take out loans. Now you must pay them back. You knew the terms going into it. Are you with me on this?
I mean, I don't care either way, to be honest.
You don't care about this?
I don't have much of a care for this one. I mean, think about how large the national debt is. It doesn't affect us one way or the other, really.
It's $80 billion a year in payments. That's got to affect something.
I mean, that is. So if you think of our total spend as a tax, you know, as a government, a federal government's like $3 trillion a year. Mm-hmm. You know, that'd be like if you're spending $3,000, this is $80. Significant.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it's significant,
and it's the principle. And I'm a principled guy.
Yeah,
I think
I think this is where it's coming from. You're a principled guy.
Of course.
I'm like not really.
I was the responsible guy. I took out the hefty bill
and
for
you paid so much down on your
so
student loans that for you it'd be annoying if all of your friends got them forgiven.
I would appreciate a check for $400,000 of what I paid. You know, if this was forgiven, but it wasn't. Joe Biden, you know, great job.
Let's go, Joe.
Yes, let's go, Joe. All right, I will revert back to bashing him any chance I get.
Hold on.
Oh, man. You do the
part of the Matt Ford debacle.
On YouTube, George is putting on his double incognito fake mask.
Hold up. If we need a rule on this show. If anyone is to wear a mask for a satirical reason, it must be the double incognito from fakemaskusa.com.
Yes.
So Matt Ford puts on a mask.
They sent me a text the other day that I swear was a book. I had to score like 4 times before I got to
Ford?
No, Fake Mask USA. They are incredible.
So Matt Ford brought on a mask during COVID Corner, and I forgot I was supposed to do this for the entire segment, but here I am, fakemaskusa.com. Mm-hmm. Matt Ford, part of the Matt Ford debacle today is next time you wear a mask on this show, it better be a fake mask. No real masks on this show.
Agreed. That's a rule.
fakemaskusa.com. Get yours. Get the text messages. Get the propaganda.
Yeah, a ton of propaganda.
Matt Ford needs that propaganda.
I love it, though. All right. So
Let's Go Brandon shirts.
Yeah, so now we're back to Let's Go Brandon stuff. So Joe Biden put out a tweet. He said, The United States pays its debts when they're due. That's why today I signed a bill to fast track the process to raise our debt limit. Do you see the weirdness in that statement? He says the United States pays its debts, so I'm going to raise our debt ceiling. What is he not doing there? Paying the debt. He's raising the amount we're able to borrow. He's not actually paying anything back. So we can continue to pay our expenses and our economy doesn't literally fall apart. So I just thought it was wild to see on Twitter of he's celebrating the fact that we're paying our debts when we're not actually paying our debts. We're just raising the amount we're able to.
Think about it. Imagine if you could, like, think of how rigged that is, right? I'm going to buy US dollars. I'm going to lend US dollars, right? I'm going to like borrow some dollars. And when I need to pay back the dollars, I'm either going to borrow more dollars or I'm going to create more dollars. I created a lot of dollars. Now I'm out of dollars I can create because it's too many. So now I'll just increase the number of dollars I can borrow.
It's genius.
Yeah. Let's go, Joe.
Yeah. I guess that could have been part of the same segment, but here's another thing. So I saw an interesting quote that says, history doesn't repeat itself, but it smells the same.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm going to make a comparison here. There are aspects of this one horrific thing that are very similar to a current horrific thing going on, but much less horrific. Okay. So these are not apples to apples, but there's components of one thing that are very similar to components of another thing.
Careful with this one, man. Wait, are we going to just show policy? We cannot be canceled.
Fine. I'm
No, I'm saying
I can skip that one.
No. We will not be canceled.
I'm not allowed. We are not allowed to be canceled.
Exactly. So we will say whatever we want, and we will not be canceled.
That's so genius. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Show rules cannot cancel us.
Okay.
We are going to keep talking on our airwaves no matter what.
Until I see all of you listening nod, I will not continue. That you will not cancel us.
Yes.
Are you nodding?
Nodding.
Okay.
You will not cancel us. We cannot be canceled for telling the truth.
Double check?
All we are doing is reading something on Twitter.
That's it. I didn't say these words.
Yeah.
So this is a Holocaust.
I knew that's where this was going. That's why I had to. I'm like, he's going to talk about the Holocaust.
No, it's very interesting. And honestly, I don't think it's that controversial. So it's a Holocaust survivor named Vera Sharav. And she's talking about the way the Holocaust was framed as far as how it was sold to the public in Germany and Austria, the people who supported that at that time. And it was very much engrossed in the medical community, doctors, public health, that these people are, awful and we need to get them out of society because of a public health initiative. And that's how it was able to
They marketed the Holocaust as a public health initiative?
Yes. Absolutely. That's how it was sold to the public, and that's how people supported it at that time. And obviously it's horrendous and a terrible thing to do. And I'm just pointing out that, when the medical community comes into, making government policy decisions, bad things can happen. They don't operate always with the best of ethics.
Well, and I think that this is, if you go back to, I keep talking about the Iraq War, I keep talking about Vietnam, I keep talking about American history, so that our audience can understand that history is repeating itself. I'm sitting there in Hawaii, and this place is horrific, and I'm like, wait until we hear about the real reason why this is happening. By the time we're like 60, it's going to be common knowledge what actually is happening during COVID.
Netflix documentaries.
Yeah, it'll
becomes declassified.
We'll know what it is.
Yeah.
Until then, we know that it's not what we're being told.
Right.
But that's all we know.
Yeah, I don't prescribe to know exactly why these things are happening.
No.
I theorize, but like you said, the truth will come out.
So that's history is important because it teaches us when to not believe certain things.
Yes. So let me play a short clip of her speaking.
Her words, not ours.
Her words.
Yeah. Can't cancel us.
Yeah.
What sets the Holocaust apart from all other mass genocides is the pivotal role played by the medical establishment, the entire medical establishment. Every step of the murderous process was endorsed by the academic and professional medical establishment. Medical doctors and prestigious medical societies and institutions lent the veneer of legitimacy to infanticide, mass murder of civilians.
Learn from the lessons of history, or it's doomed to repeat itself. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Love it.
Okay. So we're going to close COVID Corner. It's a little shorter one today. I'm going to do some fun things to end it. Remember our COVID dystopian things of the week, which you didn't know the word, but now you know what dystopian means.
Yeah. Very bad. Yeah.
So I got some of them we're going to go through.
Okay.
So There was an unbelievably selfish man in the UK. You know what he did? He went and got jabbed 9 times in one day.
What?
Believe that? Fake.
He's hogging all of the vaccines?
He's taking all the vaccines.
Oh.
Unbelievably selfish. Unbelievably.
He got 9 vaccines in a single day. Was that guy in the hospital?
Probably. I'd love to see how he's feeling today. All right. Idiot. We got 10 out of the 19 players on the Chicago Bulls basketball team currently in COVID protocols and not allowed to play. Chicago Bulls are a team that is fully vaccinated, and most of them have boosters. Tell me how that makes sense. Can't put the ball in the hoop.
I bet they're all asymptomatic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The New Hampshire governor compared the mask mandate currently going on in that state to a penalty box. You know, New Hampshire, they're hockey fans. They got to make it in terms they can understand. So it's just like a penalty box.
Yeah, just 2
minutes, and then you're back on the ice.
COVID hit us hard. COVID needs to sit down, so we're going to do a mask mandate against this to punish this virus.
Just a little stop in the penalty box. No big deal. You'll be out.
It's just 3 minutes.
It's temporary. Oh, I love that. A four-year-old British boy developed hypothermia after his school put him in an outdoor classroom. That's tough.
That's horrible.
They showed a picture of him. His face was all red. He was all sad. I mean, it's just awful.
That's horrible.
This is what I really like. This one. This one's great. Students at Queen's University in Canada can postpone exams over COVID anxiety. I'm feeling anxious about getting a virus. I don't know if I want to take that exam. Oh, that's good.
Oh man,
this one is a good dystopian. Okay, the Florida Department of Health, they proposed a radical new public health policy. Radical, never been seen before, really anywhere in today's society. It's called a healthier you. They're trying to increase the well-being of population, fight COVID by this crazy thing called being healthy. So they talked about being healthy as far as getting outside, staying active, eating foods enriched in vitamins and nutrients, the vulnerable getting the vaccine and booster shots, taking vitamin C, D, and zinc. So radical strategy. We'll see how it plays out, Cotton. I don't know. I mean, being healthier, I think we're supposed to just get jabbed to fight this disease, right?
I mean, I think that is that your last thing?
That was my last thing.
This is a great segue into the next topic on the Matt Ford debacle, longevity. Okay. You know, Matt, I'm hard on you, Matt Ford, who's listening. This is the Matt Ford debacle, in case you were wondering. And that was one of the best prefaces to a conversation of longevity I've ever heard.
Oh, wow.
Talking about his parents.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the history of his family history and what motivated him to get behind longevity research. Wow.
Yeah, that was heavy stuff.
Yeah, like, that was great. And, fact check.
Uh-oh.
Does anyone know Matt Ford's diet?
I said it a little bit in there. I wasn't.
What is that?
Yeah, that's true.
What? Oh my gosh. Matt Ford busted. Okay.
Now that was a fault on me. I should have called him out more.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sitting there. I'm screaming at my phone. I'm like, what are you doing?
We did talk about the donuts.
Powdered donuts. Like, come on. So now we have to talk about Matt Ford's diet. So we go on a golf trip with Matt Ford. And that dude eats out of a gas station. All of his food. It's the funniest thing.
So we played like 2 rounds of golf, and then we wanted to get pizza, and it was like hard to get a delivery in some remote town, North Carolina. So we send Alex and Matt out to go fetch the pizza. They end up going to like I don't know if it's a grocery store, but it was like kind of like a gas station grocery store hybrid, and they get like 4 boxes of frozen pizza, and then they start heating them up, and then we're sitting there, and all of a sudden Matt pulls out this big bag of powdered like munchkins and just starts eating them. Doesn't say anything.
So Sean, this is our source here is Sean, who's reporting on the story. Yeah. He went to go visit Matt Ford in South Dakota for like 2 days, and they kept going to all these places. I can't do this one. It cracks me up too bad. So they kept going to all these places, and Matt Ford is like eating like fried chicken, French fries.
This is a complete adolescent diet.
It's horrible.
No, but Georgie cares a lot about it, man. Like, come on.
Oh my god, that one got me so good when I was listening. I mean, I've made fun of Matt Ford so much for his diet, and then he comes out talking longevity. Oh, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's a bit hypocritical practice what you preach. I get it. It's a tough look.
You got to take it away, man. Do we have a question?
Yeah, we can do a question.
I need a break. Oh, that was so good.
All right.
Oh, Matt Ford's diet is one of the funniest things.
Oh, here's one that I'm actually wondering too. So this Graham talks about. Thank you, Graham. I think I heard George talk about buying cars and renting them out. He says, "What vehicles are you considering?" I'm gonna also add on a question of how has that been performing? Like, what has your been results from that so far?
Wow, that's a great question. So it's been fascinating business, and so I think that initially, right, we made a lot of decisions on. So I own 23 vehicles.
Wait, how many?
So I actually own 26.
Oh my god!
But 23 of them I rent out. I'm currently attempting to acquire another 15 vehicles.
Oh Jesus!
I'm working on that at the moment, but nonetheless. So I have my car guy, my car supplier.
I'm guessing this guy isn't running your credit.
No.
Oh, he is.
There is. Yeah,
yeah.
I could go into that.
That 500 number is definitely possible now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like 23 car loans or 26 car loans or whatever it is. Yeah. So yes, my business funding is personal funding in this case. I was like, I don't need my credit for a couple years anyway, so like, might as well shoot it to the ground to to start this business. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it was strategic choice of destroying personal credit. And so, we have 23 cars, and initially, right, there's the Turo projections. So when you go on Turo, you can like put in make, model, and market, and then they can estimate days out rented, rental rates, and all that. So that's one way of projecting. So the initial batch of cars that we looked at, there's on Car Edge, there's a depreciation curve of a vehicle. So a vehicle depreciation curve is an S curve. And so you try to buy it at the point where it's depreciated a lot, but the engine life maintenance costs are still low, and it has a lot of miles left. So, it's like essentially imagine an analytics way of buying cars. You buy the best rental vehicle for as little money as possible, and there's an arbitrage there. And so that's how we do that. And then we put them up. And the thing that we learned is you can actually grossly outperform Turo projections through strategy. So price per day, dynamic pricing, all of these things, you can try to optimize the market and get a much higher return on your vehicle to a much higher quality renter to limit the number of damage and miles and all those things put on the cars. So, I mean, it's been a learning experience for sure. And the more I do it, the more I learn. Make more mistakes than not, but, in terms of profit, it's profitability-wise, it's been much better than I expected.
Yeah. What was your run rate to be profitable? Like how many months did it take? Were you profitable right away?
Profitable right away.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of profit margin typically?
So we operate our fleet at roughly a 50% margin right now.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
So there's no nothing down for these cars, I'm imagining.
Then there was nothing down. So that 50% includes all of the payments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is VR still managing it, or do you find another company?
Yeah, so I think it's the management is something that we've dabbled with, and we have a manager that we're excited to work towards. I think that no, I'm moving somewhere else.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mutually.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you're looking for a person, a company, like what?
I have a guy.
You have a guy.
Yeah, so I found a new manager.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you keep it at the airport?
Yeah, so all the cars are moving to pre-flight parking.
Yeah.
At the airport.
Are you worried about the safety of it as far as leaving keys and such?
No. I think it's when you understand the process of how it can be done well. You're not really worried about that.
Okay.
And I think that, we started in September, so it's only been 3 months. And when you talk to a manager that's been doing it for a couple of years, they have a lot more bad stories. Like we had a car impounded.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then there was a car that got stolen.
Oh,
so not mine. It was someone else's car.
Yeah.
That got stolen. And when you understand these things, you start to do more things to mitigate those types of risks. So, now we GPS track all the cars.
You track them? Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're putting on, and the new manager's going to put on GPS tracking on all the cars. And, so we're doing a lot more precautions, a lot more things to make sure that the cars get maintained well. It's been a learning experience. And then I think I found that, like, when I looked at his Turo analytics, I saw just how much money he makes through a different strategy of listing prices and optimization and all that.
This new manager.
Saying. So, I found a math guy that does Turo.
Nice.
And he's been doing it for 2 years, and he's learned a lot of things that I haven't learned yet. So,
well, you're driving a nice fancy car in here. What do you got there? Is that a Porsche? Or what we driving in at?
Yeah, that is. So it was. So it's funny. I've learned how to optimize cars, and so I was like, okay, well, I want the nicest looking car for as little money as possible, and so that led me to getting a 2015 Porsche.
It's a beautiful looking car.
Yeah, beautiful looking car.
Yeah.
6 years old, depreciated a ton. It was the cheapest of the 3 cars I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I got a Yukon for the kids. That's the most expensive car.
Do you want me to do all the questions now? Or do you want to go through anything on your end?
So I got another Matt Ford Debacle comment.
Okay.
And then it goes into a deep dive. Mm-hmm. So you guys talked sports. Mm-hmm. And I don't get to talk sports that often. And you're a diehard Patriots fan. Mm-hmm. You talked about so you really think they're going to Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and I'm also going to.
How much pride do you have for Bill Belichick right now?
Oh, I mean, what he's done this season is just it takes him to a whole new level.
Yeah,
like, this is the most
greatest coach ever.
Yeah, of any sport. It's
any sport, impressive, professionally.
Most impressive season he's ever had.
Yeah. To lose Tom Brady and to be extremely good with essentially no star.
Yeah, and like
they have no stars.
Everyone says that Tom won out by winning the Super Bowl last year. Well, he hoarded himself out to a really good team who had really good players around him. So obviously he's going to rebound quicker than the coach who loses the best quarterback who's ever played.
Well, I think they both won, right?
Well, now, but
they both left each other to try to win without each other,
right,
so that they could prove that they both could have done it alone. And they both have. I mean, even if Bill Belichick doesn't win another Super Bowl, he has proven Matt Jones is a rookie, nobody quarterback.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, in the end,
to win in this league without a quarterback is insanely difficult.
Winning at this level with a rookie quarterback is not something that's done. Even the young quarterbacks.
He's not even a talented rookie quarterback. He's just some game manager.
Come on, man. Come on. You trying to hurt me here?
It's impressive. He threw it 3 times against the Bills.
I know. That was hilarious. He's extremely accurate. Like, he's more accurate than, I even thought Tom was in his later years. And what they say is he throws a very catchable ball. It kind of comes in very soft. It's like a pillow just hitting their arms. And like, they don't drop passes. And these receivers are not that good.
So I had, I haven't talked about the University of Arizona a lot because ever since we've started the show, my absolute favorite sport, so Patriots football, is Matt's die-hard. That's where he's a fan. Like, nowhere else is he more passionate. For me, that's Arizona college basketball. I've had season tickets growing up. I used to watch every press conference and game. And once the FBI stuff started happening, it was hard for me to do that.
I love that story. That's great.
And then we now have, Tommy Lloyd. So we hired the assistant coach at Gonzaga to be our head coach.
This is his first year?
It's his first year.
Oh, really?
So the thing that no one knows about Arizona, 7 out of our 12 players are international.
They do that a decent bit, I feel like. Like, not that many, but...
Who?
Oh, is he taking a Gonzaga? Wait, these aren't his players, right?
These are not his players.
But I feel like Arizona does usually get like a foreign guy, maybe.
Yeah, so we are a foreign guy school. Yeah. We've always been like one foreign guy.
Yeah, 7's a lot.
So what happened is after the FBI investigation, we couldn't recruit American kids anymore.
Oh, wow.
So Sean Miller got on a plane and would fly overseas and recruit the best talent in Europe.
That's so smart.
And so 7 out of our 12 guys, like we have these guys that are 4-year players that are super talented. Right now, the number 2 rated player objectively in college analytics is on Arizona, and the dude's foreign. Oh. Like and so when Gonzaga, the thing you don't understand about Gonzaga is in college basketball for the last 6 years, they've been by far dominant best team over 5 seasons. Yeah. I mean,
never won it all, but yes.
Never won it all, but they've been the number 1 seed objectively, statistically, the best performing offense. And Tommy Lloyd was the architect of that. And so he walked into a situation at Arizona that had more talent than he was used to having at Gonzaga, more international talent, which is what they do at Gonzaga. They recruit internationally because they can't get American guys to go there. And so he has been such a seamless fit. It's like they love his system. He's a great player development. I mean, I am so excited about this team. And the lesson it shows, and like on football, we're having the same type of rebuild right now where you can tell that the team is going to be good in a few years. And it's all because of our president. I mean, the dude, he was the former head of the Fiesta Bowl, and he knows how to hire a coach. Like, you know our football coach?
No.
Jed Fish?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that does sound familiar. Oh, yeah. He's the former quarterbacks coach for the Patriots.
Wow, I forgot. Yeah, I totally forgot about that guy.
Dude, he's worked on the Rams, the Packers. He's worked for McVay,
he's an NFL
LaFleur.
guy. Yeah.
He's been in every high-performing NFL locker room. He worked at one place every year.
They showed great fight this year.
Yeah.
They won a game or two, at least at the end. And they were close in a lot of games at the end.
He has the number 2 recruiting class in the Pac-12 right now. You have one win, and the following year you are the number 2 recruiting class in the Pac-12?
Well, I mean, Pac-12 is pretty down now.
USC, Oregon?
So
those are places that pull talent.
So they have a worse recruiting than Oregon, right?
No, they have better recruiting than Oregon.
Wow.
Right now. We have a better recruiting class than Oregon and USC.
That's surprising.
Jed Fish.
I'm looking into that. That seems fishy.
No.
I smell a rat line there.
No. So because he's an NFL offense. He's an NFL QB guy. And so he's killing it with wide receivers and quarterbacks in the recruiting game. He's able to sell them on his offensive schemes.
Well, what kind of bag are we talking here, too?
What do you mean?
What kind of bag are these recruits getting?
Oh, I mean,
maybe they're opening the bag more than they ever did. That could be part of it.
So, but what happens is, right, he's going to LA and getting all the USC decommits. We've gotten a ton of UCLA decommits, and he's hiring his entire defensive staff is off of UCLA's he poached from Chip Kelly, their defensive coordinator,
the people that were
their defensive
recruiting
line
these people
coach.
already.
Exactly. So we're just hammering Southern California with the USC decommits and the UCLA
That's what you got to
defensive
do
players.
if you're Arizona. I mean, I imagine the talent disparity between Southern California and Arizona is probably huge.
Yeah, Southern California is the hotbed for football talent.
Yeah.
You know, and so that we can access. And so he's going in there and he's getting it. And I mean, it's a turnaround program, all because of our administration and athletic director. Future episode, Dylan Kornberg. So we have him here. He's our head of marketing. He was a golf player in college at the U of A, and he actually worked on the coaching staff. He understands the importance of an athletics director very well. I think a great future case study would be talking through the importance of an AD to a college athletics department. It's kind of like a GM.
So what's a successful year for Arizona basketball? Is it like
Final Four?
Final Four.
Yeah, that's the barometer.
Yeah. So what's actually going to happen is going to be they're going to get a 2 seed. They're going to lose in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
That's Arizona basketball.
That's
in a nutshell.
not...
Like, get a 2 seed, lose in the Elite Eight. How many times does that happen?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I've watched Arizona basketball every game that we've been good. The seasons that we suck, it's hard for me to watch every game. But for the greater part of 20 years.
Maybe we take a trip down there.
We've never looked this good.
Maybe we see them play at ASU.
Yeah, so that's...
Or is that a hard ticket to get or something?
Yeah, so the problem is I've already looked through my entire schedule.
Nothing lines up?
I can't line it up. They're going away. Their away schedule aligns with my kids' weekends. So every time I have my kids here, they have a game in Tucson. Every time, and it just doesn't work. I've tried. Too bad. And then it's like they're in ASU around the time of one of our events, and like everything sucked with that schedule.
Well, maybe you'll see a game in March.
Yeah, I will be. If they go to the Final Four, I will be there.
All right. You heard it here first.
I almost booked my flight to New Orleans over the weekend after I saw them play Illinois.
So you people think I'm weird looking at Super Bowl tickets in February. George is looking at March Madness tickets in the end of March.
April 4th through 8th. I've already looked at my kids' schedule. I've already looked at hotels in New Orleans. Like, Kaylee's a KU person. They're a top 5 team.
Oh, that would be so cool if they're both there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, U of A, KU, like
play each other.
No, I mean,
split household.
One of us is going to go. Like, high chance that one of us goes to the Final Four, one of our teams.
Now, I know I normally like to root against my friends. I'm very much rooting for your team.
Really?
Yes. I don't.
Actually?
Yes, actually, seriously.
See, you don't have a college basketball team.
Yeah, that could be part of it. Yeah.
Now we've given you one.
Yeah, I'll
the University of Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, they historically get a player from Massachusetts like a good bit. They're the tall guy, the white guy was
Caleb Fajewski.
Yeah, he was from Massachusetts,
Upper Maine, but yeah, Rhode Island.
Went to school there, but grew up in Mass. But I mean, I'll root for him.
Cool,
let's go.
That sounds great. Let's go. Bear down.
Bear down. All right, let's get another question.
All right, we got one more question here, and then we're wrapping up. It's the flu game.
Skim through these questions. See what you like best. I'm curious because like they're decent. I wouldn't say.
I think the financial planner question is great.
Yeah. Or the credit card one.
Credit card point accumulation. I know briefly touched on airlines. Is there a longer segment? Oh, Evan, prepare for a future breakdown on
there you
status.
Go. Stay tuned.
Credit cards. That'll be a future breakdown. Mastermind dentist considering business outside of dentistry. Okay, I know some people haven't enjoyed the sports segments on the show. I've been a big fan. Oh, speaking of, one of my classmates reached out and loves COVID Corner.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
So, Jeremy, thanks for reaching out. It was an honor talking to you, and he loves COVID Corner, so I wanted to make sure that Matt heard that. I had one of my classmates reach out to talk about how much they enjoy COVID Corner.
That's really nice. I really.
Matt, he said you really grew on him.
I knew there was an insult coming somewhere. Yeah, I used to think you sucked, but now, you're not.
No. He said that,
I was inflammatory at first.
No, not inflammatory, but he really, really likes your stick in COVID Corner now.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it takes a while for people to really enjoy it. It's a different type of news.
Yeah, I'm someone who's got to wear you down.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, well, that guy's not that bad.
That's great. All right. So, do you guys use a financial planner, both in person, life, and with shared practices? Do you trust the professionals in this area, or is it an area like accountants where they're not very helpful? Who is the CFO of shared practices? All right. So, we do not have a CFO. That is a position that we could talk about our search for an accountant right now as well. But first, I would like to paint a picture for you. Imagine me sitting there with the financial planner. I'm across the desk. I'm sitting here.
I can't.
He goes, George, can you tell me about your finances? I can say, yes, sir. So I have 26 car loans. I have not paid any of my student loans. I have an extremely large amount of debt, considering my age.
I have extremely large amount of credit.
My credit has been shot because of how many credit cards I've opened in the past 12 months. And my cash on hand has been slim because I've invested too much of it into my businesses and I'm having a hard time offloading a bad real estate deal.
He's your ideal client right there for that guy.
So now you can understand how that would sound, right? And then the financial advisor would say, oh, George, no. Don't get any of those car loans. Pay down your student loans.
Definitely.
Do not be investing in real estate now.
Sucker move.
No. And certainly do not leave yourself in such a cash-strapped position.
Yeah. Irresponsible.
Mm-hmm. So, not all advice is for everyone.
Right.
And financial planners are really good at predictable, sustainable, simple success at a level, right? And what I've always been about is net worth is my barometer, and I don't care as much about other things because long-term, those problems solve themselves. So my credit situation right now, right, I've already objectively looked at it. I'm like, okay, well, credit's kind of a very few months it changes. And I was like, okay, well, I own my home. I do not anticipate moving for around 5 years at least. So I don't need my personal credit for anything. And so I was like, okay, so I don't need that. So I can get rid of it for a couple of years and get it back. Yeah. And so I'm able to think through that logically. It's sometimes hard to get someone like a financial advisor behind unconventional actions that might make sense, but might not be the best textbook way of doing something.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I don't use one. I don't plan to for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think they really know what they're doing.
I don't even ever expect to use one because even now, once I get money to invest, I'm going to do crypto.
Yeah.
I'm really not going to put anything anywhere else.
They're only good if you're pretty cash flow positive and you don't know, you literally have no idea
clue what to do with it.
And you won't want nothing to do with learning what to do about it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it from a financial standpoint, the financial advisor standpoint. If I lose my client's money, I'm fired. So I'm going to be super conservative.
And that's why they do diversification. They love to say, put your thing in different buckets because they don't know how they're going to perform. So if they diversify, then there's less likely that they lose the money.
They all perform in line with the S&P 500 because it's they just all go in line with the stock market or the index funds or whatever it is because that's the safest investment. Well, it's what if I don't want to be safe?
Yeah.
What if I'm young?
Yeah. What if you're 28 years old and you can handle...
I want something that's a high return, high risk? that long term will look a lot better for me, I'm going to do my own stuff. Yeah. And so, like I've been spending a lot of time researching crypto and like figuring out when I have money, what am I doing with it? And like a lot of other things, but I am not going to be giving my money to someone to get 8% a year.
And then paying a fee on top of that.
Yeah.
Which is all they care about is your fee.
Seriously, imagine if our audience was like, hey, I'm looking for 8% on my money. I'd be like, give it to me. I'd pay you 8% for your money. Like, that'd be easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if you know how to get a better return than that, why are you using a financial advisor? And investing in your own stuff, your own knowledge.
I mean, I remember the mindset because, like, call it 2 or 3 years ago, I had financial planners and I didn't know what to do with money, and then I like learned it's not that difficult. Even if you do want to use the typical channels and do the slow growth thing, it's do it yourself. Very easy to manage.
And
yourself.
Now with robo advisors, I would use a robo advisor for 1/4 of the cost of a financial advisor, and just set it and forget it. I think there's almost no value in the person managing the fund. There's the person giving the advice from a global standpoint. There's value in that. Like if someone's totally lost, sitting down with a financial expert who goes, from a tax standpoint, it makes sense if you do the 401k.
This is why I liked when I was a new owner and I did that tax planning thing and they got everything set up for that first year and then I left. I think that's
worth it.
That's advisable.
To get kind of look at the whole picture, my student loans, my house, my spouse's income, all of those things. Kind of give me a lay of the land, something a per hour arrangement, like you pay for the advice.
Per hour sounds great.
And then once you've told me the things that I need to know, then I can do them on my own. I mean, robo advising, like that, like Betterment or one of those services is literally like all of the fund management that you need. Yeah. Like they literally tax loss harvest for you with software. Like you can't do any better than that. So
That's interesting. I never heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's robo advising is where you they'll essentially just trade your stocks based on your total performance, all your goals. Same thing a financial advisor would do.
Your risk profile.
But they'll just sell and trade your stocks when there's losses so that you can get tax write-offs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's a great topic for another episode.
You want to do another quick one?
Yeah, let's see what we got here. I want to make sure to knock these out. So we have okay, I know people have enjoyed sports. Perfect. Here we go, Matt. I'm gonna give you a softball here.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned on Facebook that live events cost a lot. So this is we posted a topic, and Alex and I are going to talk about this upcoming on the Dental Investment Group simulcast. But there is so for in-person events, we've kind of had some internal dialogue of virtual versus in-person, and on our Facebook group, one of the comments was like, I love. An audience member, trying to tell us how to run our business. And so I loved that comment. So I had to respond to that one. And the individual had said something along the lines of, why don't you just do them in a hotel? Like, why even have a space? So Matt, why even have a space? Why not just do these in a hotel?
Yeah, no, it sounds easy.
Do you see the cost of events coming down? So why are events so expensive to do in a hotel?
Let me be very clear. The cost of anything doesn't come down. Maybe gas, just like a little bit.
No, gas doesn't come down, dude. Well, inflation now?
Well, you think it's going to be above 4 forever?
Yes.
I probably don't think so. Really?
Yes.
I think you're wrong.
No.
Okay, we'll find
out. Dude, it was $4 a gallon. Remember back when we were like in college?
I know, and then it went down.
It went down because they subsidized it. Well, and now we've inflated. We're trading with the Middle East to get our gas.
Okay, maybe you're right.
That's why it's inflation.
All right, well, okay.
Is inflation going down?
Further proves my point.
Is the dollar going to be more valuable in the future?
Well, never.
Then gas will definitely not be under $4.
Okay, well, then nothing goes down. So when we talked about dentistry as a fixed cost business, like outrunning your fixed costs, the difference in live events when you're planning them at a hotel is it's a variable cost business.
High variable cost.
So your price per attendee is exorbitant. And so you think like, oh, if I just get X number of attendees, I'm profitable. Well, no. The way they get you is that they give you the event space for free, but then they make you pay exorbitant food prices that are absolutely outrageous. We're talking like $10 a water bottle. And then they make you pay for their in-house...
$50 a gallon for coffee.
Yeah. And then they make you pay for their in-house AV, which we just outfitted our AV space with the most expensive, like highest quality equipment, way more AV than we ever need. And I still paid less than I paid to rent out the AV in Minneapolis, to own it all and have it all installed.
Yeah. I mean, and think about it this way. Like,
what?
So internet, we paid, what is it, $30 or $15 per day per person.
This is just making me angry.
We have over 100 people there, and we paid $15 a head for Wi-Fi.
That is incredible.
Literally, it's an invisible service. They didn't even provide anything. We paid their internet bill for a year in 2 days.
Literally did.
And then the event planner, we can't not offer Wi-Fi. And I'm like, well, I'm paying $5,000 for Wi-Fi. What? This is bullshit.
So it's completely cost prohibitive to do it at a hotel. It just does not make any sense.
So we lost quite a bit of money doing our event in Minneapolis, and we sold it out. There was over 100 people there.
It was a full room.
It was so frustrating. And so we have a smaller event space here, and it's the hotels just gouge you because they have so much leverage. And if you want to go to any private space, they have this whole thing of you have to use their caterers, you have to use their vendors, you have to use their people, and their people charge an arm and a leg for everything.
Everything's upcharged. And that was in Minneapolis. If we had done that...
If we had done that in Scottsdale, it would have been 3 times more.
Yeah. Add on, $75,000 to the bill.
But we went to Minneapolis because it was cheap.
Yeah.
We could the only place we could afford. And we had this super nice place.
And we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
We lost money.
So, in case you were wondering, virtual events at shared practices.
Yeah. I talked to Alex on Practice on Water airing at the end of the year about this, about how we decided kind of either fully in person or fully virtual is how we're going to go forward with it.
And him and I are doing a webinar right now where
nice.
we're telling, because I'm trying to get, I think Sunny's coming in February. So
nice.
We'll be able to talk to the Dental Investment Group folks, and it'll be fun.
Looking forward to meeting Sunny.
Yeah. And so, guys.
Good bloke.
This is the... Good bloke, seriously, man? What are we, in England? Come on, this is
that word, man.
This is America show.
I like that.
I just got back from Hawaii. I'm excited to be back in my country.
America is now minus California and Hawaii. Keep that in mind, everyone.
48 states.
We've downgraded.
The United States of 48 states.
We've downgraded yet upgraded.
No, it's addition through subtraction.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything got better because we shed it a couple weight. Anyway, so guys, thanks for listening. The $1 Billion Podcast. This was the flu game. To come in injured, I had to be here today.
Georgie flu
I
game.
could no Matt Ford debacles will happen again on my watch. I sitting there jumping up and down. That guy's diet is awful.
A longevity pose.
Yeah, longevity guy. Come on. We'll see you guys next week on the $1 Billion Podcast. That gets me every time.